Hey guys, Dennis here with Revog Games. I'm joined by.
Joshua Weyers, all the way in South Africa.
Yeah, and we've got a lot of news today on our weekly games podcast. Lots of stuff. Even though not many big games are coming out, a lot of news about upcoming games and also just a lot of details here and there. A few things dropped today, not big things, but just kind of more of announcement of future big things. The first thing was the Xbox and Bethesda Showcase, which is going to be on June 12th. Xbox, always has their showcases every year. Bethesda used to have their own, and now obviously they're kind of combined together. It's interesting that Microsoft kind of still keeps Bethesda like separate, you know what I mean? Because Xbox owns a bunch of different studios, right? They own, they bought Obsidian and whatnot.
I think they know with Bethesda, like they know what they're doing. Leave Bethesda alone. They know what they're doing. I'm pretty sure that they have faith in them to do whatever they need to do to get things done.
But just keeping it like branding wise separate, right? Because like with Obsidian and all those other studios they bought, it's kind of like, okay, you're under the Microsoft umbrella, and Bethesda is too, but they're keeping them as almost like this side studio.
I wonder because with the free, because like I was gonna mention this anyways at the end, but we can talk about it now. Well, we don't have to talk about it. There's nothing to talk about. The original Elder Scrolls Arena and the Elder Scrolls 2. Well, Elder Scrolls. Anyways, the first 2 or 3 Elder Scrolls games are free on Steam right now. They were released on Steam for free a few days ago, and like I thought that was just quite interesting to do. That Xbox would just like let that happen. I wonder if they do anything like. I wonder if Bethesda would do anything where it's like it doesn't renew its copyright license for a certain IP or a certain game just so that it can go out to the public or something.
Well, I mean, yeah, it was all like they closed down their own launcher because basically now that they've been bought by Microsoft and Microsoft has their own Xbox app, there's no point in having a Bethesda only launcher, and so you either get Game Pass or you can buy the Bethesda games through the Microsoft Store if you want to. And now you can go back to Steam now.
Yeah.
So it's
also we did like once again not really worth doing a whole topic about, but we did see some more Starfield footage. I think it was a loading screen or something. So we mainly just heard some of the music and the sound design, and people are really enjoying the music that they heard just from that little snippet.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's a loading screen.
That's kind of like the big kind of speculation is with this June 12th showcase is whether we'll see gameplay footage of Starfield. I would say yes. I think at this point it's June 12th. You're launching November. I forgot what the exact date is. You have to show it. Otherwise people are going to start getting worried that it's going to get delayed, And
E3 was canceled, right?
November 11th. E3 is canceled. So
so they got to show it. They have to.
I mean, I know there's going to be I know there's going to be another showcase at the end of summer, like August, September-ish.
That'll be too short.
It's too late. Yeah, it is too late. You want to build the hype, you got to show the gameplay footage now. So
because right now we've seen some stuff. We know it's going to look good, but my issue is I have no idea what the hell combat's going to be like. Like what are the gameplay mechanics? We know the setting. We've seen a lot of the aesthetic behind it. We get that there's like different factions and stuff, very much like a Bethesda game with the RPG. So we know the RPG part, but like I'm wondering what's the mechanics going to be like. Are we using, like I'm assuming we're going to be using guns or something along that line in space if they're keeping it somewhat realistic, you know. But I'm curious as to see what the gameplay will be. I really hope that we're going to see some gameplay.
Truly Arcane's Redfall it's supposed to launch in 2022, so they're speculating that maybe a release date. I won't be surprised if that one gets pushed back, to be honest with you, to 2023. I could be wrong, but for some reason I just have the feeling like it might not be totally ready yet for 2022. But yeah, that's exciting stuff. We'll get to know more about Xbox and Bethesda and see if there are, remember, there's been a lot of issues with the Perfect Dark reboot and over at the Initiative. Fable, we did not see any, other than that teaser thing a long time ago. We have not seen anything new from Fable. So that's...
Oh my gosh, that's so true. I completely forgot about it, and that says a lot. I love that franchise. Yeah. I really hope to see something about that soon. I just want to, or actually, you know what? At this point, I don't even care if I get to see much about it. I just want to know anything. Give me any news. Give me a tweet, or a thumbs up from the studio. Or just want to make sure things are running there. I'll be happy.
Yeah. Avowed is another thing that we had only seen very little bit about. The last showcase, Outer Worlds 2, they had like a little funny teaser, but it wasn't really real gameplay. So yeah, a lot of stuff, a lot of speculation, but it's not too far away. I mean, June 12th is a month and a half. So we're going to see a lot of stuff. And like I said, there's not a lot of big games dropping. So we're all, for myself, I'm playing catch up on a bunch of games. So it's fine for me. But I'd like to hear about what's coming in the fall, winter time, so I can get excited. Obviously, Starfield, I'm highly anticipating. Something we'll talk about later, which is God of War Ragnarok. That as well. Anyways, so yeah, good news for Xbox. Also, another good news. I think I'd put this in later, but since we're talking about it anyways, I guess Xbox Series in Q1 made the most money out of all the platforms.
Yeah,
it wasn't the most,
is that including S.
Yeah, I think it's S and X together combined.
That makes sense then. Yeah.
Made the most money, did not sell the most units. Obviously, the one that sold the most units was the Switch, but the Switch is also cheaper and whatnot. Yeah. But in terms of dollar sales,
you got the Switch Lite as well, which is cheaper.
Yeah.
So yeah, that makes sense.
But in terms of profit, or actually, I can't even say profit because that's not even profit. In terms of maybe gross revenue, and there's several factors. You have the factor that the PS5 is not readily available. I know
exactly. And the S is a great deal. Like the S is actually a great deal. Like money wise, when you combine it with Game Pass, it is an excellent deal. This makes sense to me. This makes a lot of sense.
The only thing preventing me from getting an S is not because of the power, but because of the storage size. If the storage size was bigger, because by the time you kind of add that storage, you're kind of getting
an option for the extended storage. Like
Yes, but then you're getting to the price of the Xbox Series X. That's my issue.
You may as well get the better. Graphics output. Yeah.
So if you're giving me the S with more storage in it, then I would buy it because I don't have to have at least right now, I don't need to have the most powerful. I don't, like I mentioned many times, I would have a 4K TV.
Rather get a PS5. Just because we have a PC at this point, if I was gonna get a console,
a lot of people are looking at what, Game Pass is the best deal, but I have a PC, so I'll just play all those games on my PC, and they'll buy a PS5. So that makes a lot of sense too.
That's where I'm at as well.
But not everyone's like us, right? Not everyone can
True.
I mean, God, when I bought my graphics card, at that time it was like $400. That's the cot. I could have bought,
That's true, man.
I could have bought a console.
I'm so mad, man. Like I really, I got lucky. Like I said, I think you also got lucky, but we got lucky with our graphics cards before the prices
jacked up.
It's insane. Like the graphics card we have right now, at least out here, cost me. It's costing at least 30% more than what I paid for it. You know what I mean? Like it's crazy that I could sell the graphics card I bought a couple years ago for a profit compared to what I got it for. That's crazy. Like, had I known that was going to happen, I would have, literally, I would have gotten a 2070 or a 2080. You know what I mean? I would have spent the extra money to get a bet. But you didn't, but nobody knew.
Well, we were on the 3080.
I'm sure lots of people knew.
Yeah, 3080s. Right now, you can buy computers with 3070s in them, 3060s and 3070s for not too expensive. It's the 3080s and the 3090s that are.
I've seen some pretty affordable
very
3060s as well. I'll be
Yeah,
honest.
yeah.
Like I've seen some pretty affordable 3060s. But yeah. Anyways, moving on.
Yeah, so sales very good, but
That's good
twofold.
for them, yeah.
Game Pass, a lot of people are totally into Game Pass, which is understandable, and then also there's just the PS5 is not readily available. So,
Should we talk about the other Xbox news as well?
which one? I have another one about
Hiring.
Oh yeah. Hold on real quick because this one's part of that. This is real quick. Activision Blizzard stockholders approve Microsoft acquisition.
Oh yeah, they're so ready for it. They're like, please, please buy us.
But yeah, do you?
It was pretty desperate.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you want to go into the acquisition stuff?
Yeah, sure. Why not? And then we can possibly talk about Ubisoft after that.
Yeah.
Because it kind of ties in. So Xbox is they're hiring more people for acquisitions, which honestly, like, it doesn't make sense to me. Like, I mean, like, it makes sense, but it doesn't make sense because it's like I thought that they clearly they must already have a team because they've done so many acquisitions and they're currently a part of one of the biggest acquisitions of all time. You would think that they would already have a team, but supposedly they're hiring people to find more acquisitions. I'm assuming to like bring them acquisitions, or to find them deals.
It says developing and evaluating the business case for the content and technology acquisitions. Man, they could have hired me when I told them to get to Activision Blizzard last year.
Right? Yeah.
You didn't need a whole team for that.
That's true. Yeah. No. 100%. But yeah, it's worth mentioning that we say that, and well, who knows? I don't. I mean, they just did a major acquisition, but who knows how much that Microsoft money is? Microsoft, that's big money. So who knows? But let's talk about this Ubisoft deal real quick because Ubisoft is getting targeted for an acquisition, but it seems like a hostile kind of takeover.
And from private equity, not Microsoft or Sony.
Or Sony, yeah. It's from like who is it? KKR and Co. And Blackstone Inc. Yeah, Inc. Yeah. Those are just some to name. They're considering a takeover.
They're studying
the
company.
Biggest private equity companies, yeah. They haven't entered into any serious conversations yet, but they're very uncertain about what's going to happen. The thing is, like back in 2018, I think it was. No, not when was this? It was it 2018? Yeah, in 2018 they managed to avoid a hostile takeover by a French entertainment company, Vivendi. So yeah, they were able to. They won. Yeah, they won against the hostile takeover attempt against them. But now that they're I'm wondering if one of those things, if it's like, rather than getting acquired hostilely by a private equity company, do you think that they would be more willing and open to get acquired by either Microsoft or Sony?
I mean, I'm sure they would prefer that. The only issue
would make more sense.
The only issue right now is one. Sony obviously is a smaller company, a lot smaller company than Microsoft, so they don't have quite as much cash.
They don't have that money, yeah.
And then the problem with Microsoft right now is because they are in the process of acquiring Activision Blizzard, and they also have remember, I forgot who was doing it, but there was going to be like a FCC or whatever. There's going to be some regulatory investigation into possible monopoly.
Yeah.
Remember, I said it was ridiculous when if you only own X amount of percent of how can you call it a monopoly?
You can't be you can't be the second biggest and then.
I think they're the third. No, I think they're the third.
Yeah, exactly. I think you can't be like the third biggest and then people are like, you have a monopoly, but you're like, but I'm the third best.
Yes.
How does that work?
Exactly. I think it's ridiculous, but anyways.
Also, just the way monopolies work, they're like nothing of theirs is exclusive to their own things. If that makes sense, you know what I mean? Like most of their stuff, it's not like, hey, you have to own an Xbox to play our games. It's like you can play them on PC, and some of them you can play on PlayStation even. You know what I mean? There's nothing tying them to that, like forcing them. Anyways, like anybody can get involved.
But I guess in order to avoid too much, not speculation, but I guess analysis or or kind of like oversight on them. I guess buying Ubisoft at this moment probably is not the best idea, especially since Activision Blizzard has not closed yet, which is, I think, not going to close until October of this year, is my understanding.
Exactly.
So
that pressure is that puts them in a tight spot of doing this. So it gives Sony the opportunity, if they were like, and we're speculating here, of course, because you see the issue with why this hostile takeover could happen is because of the share prices going from $110 to $41, $110 to $41, which is that's a big drop, man.
Yeah.
That's like it's like a 60% drop in share prices, which makes it easy to be a hostile takeover. So it's one of those things where I'm sure that Ubisoft would rather be acquired by somebody like Sony if Sony has the money for it. Because it's one of those things where, of course, Microsoft can offer more, but if they're in this tight spot, and if it's a time issue where it's like, hey, look, Ubisoft may have to make some plans because, well, with the way like a hostile takeover would work is it's if the share prices don't go up, if your share prices are low, it could happen at any point in time. You know what I mean? People can just start buying it up.
Yeah, and also I guess the fear from Ubisoft and their employees is that if it is bought by a private equity firm, that they will chop the thing up and sell pieces off. So they'll be like, all right, we own Assassin's Creed. We're going to sell that IP to Sony. Okay, Splinter Cell. We're going to sell that IP to Microsoft. Or, you know what I mean? It's just, that's kind of like the concern is like, okay, remember, these private equities the only concern is making money. It is not running a business, right? So they're either going to buy this company for cheap and then turn around and resell it to let's say Microsoft a year or 2 years from now for more money, or they're going to chop it up and then start selling the pieces and then aggregately. For example, the company is valued at 5.2 billion, which is actually not a lot. ZeniMax was 7.5. Obviously, the Activision Blizzard was 68.7. You know, Sony doing Bungie, buying Bungie was 3.6.
It is possible for Sony to leap in here if they're smart. If they are smart and they're finally going to get that, like it will definitely like that would help, because also, like I said, the Ubisoft launcher is trash. Like it's just like their whole system is that like they also have your monthly subscription thing, like they have their own Game Pass, and it's also trash. But once again, like if Sony had to do it, it would be big for Sony because they get to add it to their PS Plus thing, but it also gives them a foothold on PC gaming, which they don't have. Like Sony has very, very little foot in the PC realm. You know what I mean? Ubisoft, however, on the other hand, has their foot in the PC realm. You know, not like the firmest foot in it, but they've had their foot in it for a very long time. So yeah, it would be big for them. It would be good for them. It would be one of the only ways I could see them moving forward in a healthy, competitive way to be able to play against Game Pass. You know,
that and doing day one releases. As part of their pass. But anyways, yeah, this is, I guess, also Ubisoft, in terms of their budgets and their overhead to run the business, is just kind of ballooning in terms of the number of employees and the the amount of money they're spending. And that's what happens when you get successful and you need to start catch up in terms of resources, but then you get to a point where your profit is not as big as it used to be, and then suddenly you've got to take things back. Things aren't as big as they used to be anyways.
Let's move on to the Halo news here.
So actually, real quick, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 is confirmed, and the logo was shown.
Which is the 5th Modern Warfare, which is confusing to some.
Yes.
It went Call of Duty Modern Warfare 1, it was Call of Duty Modern Warfare, then it was Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, then it was Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3, then it was a bunch of other games. Was there? Yeah, and then it was Call of Duty Modern, then they revamped it, Call of Duty, and now it's Call of Duty, Call of Duty Modern It's so weird. It's so weird. So now there's 2 Call of Duty Modern Warfares, and there's going to be 2 Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 games. And they're pretty different. Like it's not like a remake or they're reboots,
Yeah. So, anyways, no details. They just released the logo and just kind of announced.
I know, like, Call of Duty players in general have fallen off. Like, I don't know where the article is here, but like the amount of numbers, like I saw, like it was a lot of players. Like they gave the exact player amount that like stopped playing Call of Duty, and it looked painful. And it seems like Activision does have high hopes with the, I think Warzone 2 is what they're going to be calling it. I guess like they have high hopes for that. Hopefully they can bring it back. They got some interesting stuff planned for it. Yeah, they got some interesting stuff planned for it. Maybe it'll bring back the hype. I'm not too sure. But yeah, they need to slow down with those Call of Duty games, man.
Yeah, you got to make it an event. That's the thing. It's like with Assassin's Creed thing. It's like, okay, cool. You do one game every 2-3 years, becomes like, okay, I've been missing Assassin's Creed. Here comes a new version.
Exactly.
Dude, 1 year is not long. That's what blows my mind, though, about Call of Duty and how popular it is that Call of Duty Vanguard, a game that, one, was not hugely critically well received. There was hardly any marketing behind it. Nobody was talking about that game. Yet it is yet it was still the number one game. Like it still sold more than Elden Ring. You know what I mean? Like when they said Elden Ring's the number one game of this year, they said in a 12-month cycle though, it's still second to Vanguard, which is crazy.
It's that brand. It's crazy what a brand and a name can do still, you know what I mean?
I mean, Elden Ring, everybody's talking about Elden
you know
Ring.
what?
And then
we're there's another article we may as well talk. I think it's funny to combat, like, there's always cheaters in Warzone. There is always cheaters, and Activision never does a good job of fighting the cheaters. But I think that they've now, I don't know if they've done it yet, but their plans to combat cheaters in the future is that if they pick up your cheating software or they pick up that you're hacking, instead of just getting, I think, like banned or whatever, you won't be able to see players, but players can see you. So you'll just have the worst experience. You know what I mean? Like, which, like, that would be hilarious. Like, I'd be so happy to be shooting some guy who is a cheater and he can't see me. I can just run around him, be in his face. He has no idea where I am, and I like that. That's cool. 'Cause that's the thing. It's smart as well, because like if you think about it, what's the best way to discourage cheaters? Because it's like, yeah, they get banned. That's part of the risk. They know that. They cheat because it gives them that feeling of like, I'm better. I'm like screwing this person over. You know, it's the thrill. But when it gets turned on you and the joke's on you, then it's like you're
more
not
frustrating.
Do it more.
Yeah,
it's
versus banning. Yeah.
Because you know you're gonna get banned. You know you're gonna get banned.
And then you can just create. Also, you create a new account and blah blah blah.
Exactly. But with this, it seems like you won't know, like you won't know that the game you won't know that the game knows and that the developers know. You'll just be walking around one day going, "Wow, I'm not bumping into anybody," and you'll just be getting killed from like ghosts. You know, I think that's quite a smart idea.
Yeah. All right, let's move into Halo Infinite Season 2. Real quick before that, though, related is that they finally announced the co-op mode and when it was going to be coming.
I'm more excited about.
It's coming in August with the open beta of Forge in September. I will say August is not that far away from now, but in comparison to when it launched in December, that's kind of long.
August is still pretty far away, in my opinion, man. But yeah, I was really hoping that like when they were going to announce this, it was going to be like, hey, it's going to be here next week. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, we all thought May, right? We all thought May because Season 2 was May. We're like, perfect timing. Announce the co-op right when you launch Season 2. Okay, May's far away from December, but it's not that bad. But you're talking about August?
I replayed the campaign again recently, and I was just
thinking,
you? God, this would be... Yeah, I was like... I didn't finish it. I just like jumped back into it for fun, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was like... I was just thinking to myself, like, God, this would be so much fun with another person. Like, this really would. You know? I was just thinking about that. August, man. Fuck.
And open beta of Forge is September. It's like... Man... Almost feels like Halo Infinite maybe needed to wait another year to launch because
like the campaign was great in my opinion.
Yeah, the campaign was really good. But the problem is the other parts weren't ready. You didn't have co-op.
Yeah.
You didn't have Forge, and I'm not the target audience to complain about this because I told you, I'm old school. Back in the day, multiplayer was just you know, you're red or you're blue. You know what I mean? You're red or you're blue, and that's it. In this, it's but people are upset about how slow the progress for these seasons are. Season 2 is also going to be 6 months. What's a regular season in Fortnite? 4 months? 3 months? What's the regular cycle for Apex?
It's so weird. It varies.
3 to 4. 3 to 4.
I want to say like 3 months. Yeah, it varies though.
Okay,
it varies for sure. Like Valorant has shorter ones, I think, but it does vary. Like there have been like some long Fortnite seasons where it was like 4, almost 5 months. You know.
Okay, but you get a refresh 3 to 4 times a year, right? That's exactly, I guess the whole point.
Or more often, yeah.
Where
it's
with
it's at least like 90. No. It's usually like I want to say like 112 days. Like it's usually somewhere around
3
like
months.
100-day mark.
Okay, that's about 3 months.
Like
a little over 3
months.
months.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I guess with Halo, the first one going from December all the way to May, that's 6 months, and then the next this upcoming season is going to be 6 months. It just seems for people who are really into that stuff that it's just too short of too long of a cycle for things to get refreshed. Personally, for me, it's fine. One, I don't play the game as much as I used to not because it's not good, just because I'm playing Elden Ring, and then I'm probably gonna be playing the Guardians of the Galaxy game next. I still have Horizon,
which is fun.
Yeah.
I think you're gonna like that.
Yeah, Horizon.
It's gonna be a hell of a change of pace from Elden Ring for you. You're gonna be like, oh my gosh, video games can be fun. I can not be swearing and screaming at the top of my lungs all the time. This is fantastic.
Yeah,
you're gonna laugh. You're gonna feel what it feels like to laugh again, Dennis.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Oh, that's funny. I will say, here's my biggest issue with this battle pass and like who care? Like I don't really care. Everybody I talk to, who actually I know a lot of people who play this game like pretty often, and they don't care about the battle pass. The main issue is that it's like nothing really looks like it's worth it. You know what I mean? Like I'd say this season, like they did do a big effort on it, and there's some slightly cooler stuff, but it's still not enough for me to be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna spend my money on the battle pass and grind it to unlock these things. I don't care about that. But the multiplayer is good. It's solid. I'm happy with them adding new like game modes and stuff like that. That for me is like that's better. I really do not care about the battle pass with this type of game. It's which is sad because that's like their whole. They want to work on microtransactions and things like that. And the way that Halo works, it's just one of those games where I don't care what I look like. You know what I mean? I'm just running around, jumping around, shooting stuff. I don't get to. Yeah, I don't know. Like I guess like the effects are cool. You know what I mean? Like they had that thing where you could have like where you're on fire. Technically, if you fit. You know what I mean? Like if they did more like over the top kind of stuff, that would be a good way to pull in money and make it like worth it.
Well, speaking of that, I think what they need to do, and especially now that Microsoft owns all these studios, is to start bringing in, because this is what Fortnite does, right? Fortnite does it outside of their game, is they're bringing in Marvel and Star Wars and, Spider-Man, all this kind of cool stuff. What Microsoft should do is, obviously, it's not as big a game as Fortnite, but they own a lot of properties. I want to see a Brotherhood of Steel armor, the various variations.
That would be cool. Yeah.
You own Elder Scrolls. You own so start bringing those elements into it. Like obviously you're not gonna have like a full on like fantasy armor, but like just a fantasy Elder Scrolls inspired armor. You know what I mean?
Honestly, it would be fun. It would be so out of place, but I would spend money on it if there was like a fantasy based armor set where it's like. Yeah. I mean, obviously, it wouldn't be realistic going around in like leather armor in a game like this. No. Yeah, but who cares? Like, I still said it before though, and here's the thing: like, I really enjoyed Doom Eternal. Their microtransactions made sense to me because it was like, hey, you have this Doom. It's hardcore, gory, brutal, but you can be a unicorn and slay demons. You know what I mean? I was like, yeah, like that's like I'll spend money on that kind of stuff. Because the issue with the battle pass is like, okay, first of all, in my opinion, I think it's boring. But the first battle pass, it was boring and it was a grind. People complained. You know what I mean? It was like not only were the items, in my opinion, subpar, it was so difficult to get to grind the battle pass and to grind the kind of stuff, So I know that they fixed that. They've made like a lot of changes to that. They fixed the grind to make it more accessible, but I still just don't feel like the loot is good enough. I feel like they're getting there. Like this is definitely a step forward. Like it's definitely a step forward. But I just don't think it's a big enough step. You know, they got people playing the game. The game's fun, but they need to find a way to optimize their profits for the game. Otherwise, it's not going to last very long as a live service game. You know, I do think it's going to last very long, just purely based off of the game modes. Like they have a lot of fun game modes, and they have a bit of everything for anybody. You know what I mean? You play big maps, small maps. You know, I'm sure like they'll add all sorts of weird game modes in the future. So what they really need to do is they need to find a way to maximize their profits moving forward, I think, with microtransactions. And the only way they're going to do that is with better items, in my opinion, you know?
Yeah.
Or cooler looking stuff.
Yeah, like I said, I don't have the time to grind. But if there's a cool looking armor set that I really like, I might just buy it, you know?
Wait, who does anybody own EA, or is EA still independent?
Still independent.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, it's a big giant corporation.
I was gonna say like the coolest crossover I could possibly imagine is like a Star Wars Halo like if they had like Star Wars esque like armor and stuff like that in Halo, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
But that's not gonna happen. Also, like Disney. Yeah, I don't know. Anyways.
Yeah, but anyways, it's season 2. I mean, there's some promising stuff. It's just it's not fully. People are kind of taking a look at the kind of the story content or the theme of it, and they're like wondering if the flood is gonna be part of this.
King of
season
the Hill,
2,
Land Grab, Last Spartan Standing. Yeah. So season 3 starts November 8th. Okay.
Yeah.
2020. This is the roadmap as of April 2022. Interesting. Forge open beta, fracture event, narrative events, sandbox items, new modes, new maps. Like that. Yeah, I was gonna say those are the things I like. The only things I care about when it comes to Halo and playing Halo is new maps, new modes. Like that's it. Because like I actually do play Halo every now and then with some friends, and it's fun. It's good fun, you know.
Yeah, I'm gonna get back into it as the season 2 starts. All right,
and it's especially fun when you play it with people.
All right, moving on. We talked about this earlier. This is not a big news thing. All it is basically
confirmation.
God of War Ragnarok is coming this year. It already got delayed last year, which you and me already had speculated and then happened. But anyways, on the 4-year anniversary, director Cory Barlog had released a video and said, "I wish we could share Ragnarok footage with you, but it's just ready to be shown." That led to people being kind of concerned for another delay, and they said, "No, Ragnarok is coming." The animation director Bruno Velasquez said, "No, Ragnarok is coming this year."
Let me just start off by saying as well, I know you've played the game, and we both have it on console. I recently bought it on PC and played it on PC on its fullest graphics at like 2K, like 3K, like not 4K, but what is I forget what the one is. Is it 240p? I could be wrong.
Yeah.
Anyways, around there, I played it at that, and it's mind blowing how much better the graphics are compared to on my PS4. Like the PS4 graphics were good for God of War, but like playing it again on PC, like maxed out graphics, like, and we're running an RTX 2060, which is now considered outdated, but it's still a really good like medium tier. I'm not gonna lie, I'm playing it on its like fullest graphics essentially, and it looks fantastic. So Dennis, if you ever see that on sale on Steam or anything, definitely get it, play it again. It looks freaking beautiful on PC. And yeah, it's gotten me so hyped for Ragnarok because I needed to I haven't played the game since launch. So
I played it recently, so that's why I'm not itching to get it. I mean, the one game.
The thing is, though, how long do you think we're gonna wait for PC release? Hopefully,
dude. That's my biggest thing. I'm telling you, I've been harping on this all the time. Saying if Sony wants to get into the game, they need 2 things to happen in terms of their Game Pass or whatever. One, they got to do the day 1 releases, right? Their God of War Ragnaroks, their Uncharted, their Last of Us, their Ghost of Tsushima's day 1. People subscribe right away. Number 2, they need to do their PC releases also at the same time. Because that way you can get that audience in there. And so let's say someone does not own a PS5, they will still be giving you their money. And also you don't have to re-spend, because look, let's say God of War, not Ragnarok, but the last God of War that just came out on PC. imagine not having to market the PC version. One, the hype is not as big, right? Because it's how many years after? What, 3 years after? 3 years, right?
It would have been a while, something like that.
It's 3 years later. Most people who wanted to play it played it. I played it. You know, it was great. I loved it. But kind of the hype has died down. Okay, you have a PC. Let's say you didn't own a PS4. You never played it. You know it's a good game. You buy it. But the hype just isn't as much. And now you got to remarket it again to the PC audience. It's like, just do it all at the same time, man. Save yourself the trouble. Yeah. Your sales will go up too. You'll have more sales.
At least closer. At least like if they could even like do it within a 3-month gap, that would also be perfect. That's long enough for the hype. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anything less than 6 months would be good. Anything more than 6 months is just dumb. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Oh man. But yeah, I can't wait to play the game when it comes out. It will. I'm not gonna lie. Just because I know the story is gonna be amazing. It will also be coming out on PS4, so I am tempted to get it on my PS4 when it comes out, just to play the game, even though I know it would look much better on PC or PS5 if I had one. So, yeah, I'm probably gonna, I probably am gonna go get my PS4 is at my nephew's house. He uses it to play Fortnite, so I'm gonna steal it back from him and play the game, just because I need to know what happens, man, in that story, like. And the game's still going to be really fun on PS4. It's not like it's not going to be fun, you know?
Gameplay is going to be the same. It's just graphics-wise. It's like the, Miles Morales or... I think
it's sad because God of War, like, it's what's sad is that the God of War on my PC right now is going to look better than God of War Ragnarok on my PS4. That's what's sad, Dennis.
Yeah. All right, let's move on. Nintendo Switch. I know we don't talk a lot about Nintendo a lot, because I don't have one.
But this is big, though.
Yes.
So or at least it has potential to be very big.
So Nintendo Switch Sports is coming out. What's the release date? Let me see.
Hasn't it already come out?
Is it? I know the reviews have started to come out.
I believe it's just come out. I could be wrong.
Oh, no, it came out today.
I was going to say it just came out.
Today.
Yeah, I pre-ordered the game a while ago. I haven't installed it yet or tried it yet, but I did pre-order the game. Biggest gripes people were having was that it's only 4 games, as opposed to like the 6 or I don't know, like Wii Sports Resort when it was released with a lot of games.
Yes.
But I do like what they did. Was instead they focused on just I think 4 sports or about 6 sports, but they focused on making them really really good.
Yeah.
They brought back the bowling, which I loved. Wii bowling, I loved Wii bowling, and it's essentially exactly the same as the Wii bowling, but they've made it more difficult because the issue with Wii bowling was it's a great party game, but once you master it, like you just strike. So now they've added like pathways, things that block your path, and it like you actually have to have a skill, which is nice. The tennis functions exactly the same essentially. There is volleyball, which apparently volleyball is one of the more trickier ones to play, from what I've been told from people who have had access to the test. They said it's a bit more difficult to learn how to play that.
Because you've got mode. Yeah, because with volleyball, you got to serve, set up, spike. You have to do all the different positions.
And if you're playing with... They said it's good, though, if you are playing with friends, like in the same room, because then you can communicate. Because if you time your volleys and stuff, you can play better. There's like a soccer mode, which... people are saying is fun, but it's so like it's so slow. It's like a very slow Rocket League because you move so slow and the ball's so big it bounces all over the place.
There's actually a strap for your leg to put the Joy-Con on, so that you can get the kicking.
That's just for a shoot. Yeah, that's just a shootout thing. Yeah. Most people are saying it's not worth paying for the strap. You can literally just stick the remote to your leg or whatever. You know what I mean?
Put it in your pocket.
You could probably just put it like in the side of your shoe or something, though it's supposed to be on your thigh or whatever. But it's just the motion of it's because it's a timing game. That's all it is. You don't move around. It's just timing. It's essentially like baseball. You know what I mean? You're just swinging at the right moment to make sure it goes in. But they will the soccer mode they said is fun when you can do the 1v1, which is on a smaller field, which makes it way more fun because you get to come in contact with the ball more. When you're on the big field, it doesn't make sense because it can only be 2v2. but there I think are multiple players, so you have to switch between, like FIFA, for instance, you know. But I'm assuming, I don't know. Then there's that there's a game that was I was on Wii Sports Resort as well. It's like a sword fighting game, and apparently that is the most fun game, and it is really fun, really addictive to play. The sad part is that, like, well, it's the same with the other Wii Sports Resort. You can play and finish all these games in like an hour or two, but that's not what they're intended for. They're intended for like party starters, icebreakers. You know what I mean? Like this game is not meant to be played alone. You can play it alone. You maybe have fun for like 15, 20 minutes and then you'll be bored. Yeah. But like if you're with friends, there's endless hours and hours of fun because you're just laughing at each other or like goofing around.
Yeah, and or you get really competitive, and then those type of games, getting competitive face to face is much more fun than like online. You know what I mean? Like, let's say you're playing whatever.
Oh, sorry, it was 12. That's right. Wii Sports Resort had 12. This has 6, so it is about half of it.
The
volleyball, badminton.
That's the one I'm excited. Yeah. If I had a Switch, I definitely.
Though.
If I had a Switch, I'd definitely buy this. The badminton.
I pre-ordered it in a heartbeat. I pre-ordered it. They are gonna have DLC, which is the golf DLC coming out later, I think. Which that is my.
I think that was my favorite one.
Golf was the best. Like, for me, it was like bowling and golf were my 2 favorite ones in my opinion. So I was sad that the golf isn't on this, but golf is coming later. I don't know if they're gonna add more sports besides golf, but golf is coming later on the DLC, and that's what I'm most excited for. But yeah, so far it seems it's well received. The reason why I say potentially big is because the Wii Sports Resort is the highest selling Nintendo game of all time. Like Nintendo of all time. We're talking since the birth of Nintendo. The biggest selling game ever was the Wii Sports Resort. But it was because it was bundled with the console as well, if you consider that. And that the whole motion control thing was a huge craze when it came out. But like I see this, especially if they add more sports to it, I see this being like one of those things where if you buy a Switch, you don't have to, but you should. It's like if you get a Quest, you have to get Beat Saber. You know what I mean? If you get a Switch, you have to get Mario Party. You have to get a Mario game, doesn't matter which one. You have to get a Zelda game, and then you have to get this. Like there's like certain like staples you have to have if you have a certain console. You know, like if you have a PlayStation, you have to have God of War. You have to have Horizon. There's like certain things you have to have, and you have to try it. You know.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a big release for the Nintendo Switch, which will get a lot of already existing Nintendo Switch fans on board, and also probably some casual fans who remember the Wii Sports Day.
Yeah, I will say I'm surprised at the accuracy of it, from what I've been told as well. Because the thing is, like I assumed because the controllers are so much smaller that they would be less accurate, or like they like flaked out on the motion control. But no, the motion control's it's pretty solid, which is crazy. Yeah, considering how small the remotes are, I was very impressed. That's what a lot of people were saying, at least. I can't wait to try it. I'm going to try it out probably not tonight, maybe tomorrow.
Cool. Well, yeah, next week you can kind of do a little quick overview or review of your thoughts.
I won't have anybody to play it with, but I'll still try it out myself.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a party game. That's
Oh, for sure, yeah.
For friends over and you guys want to just mess around. I can,
however, see like if they add like an online competitive version of that, like the sword fighting thing, that could be like fun if there's like a way to challenge random people online. Like that'd be quite cool. That'd be quite cool.
All right, let's move on. This game we've been talking about a lot. We'll continue talking about it. Yeah, but
always will, man. Yeah. Such a beautiful game.
Elden Ring. There's a VR mod that's coming out this week.
Yeah, I hate the idea of this.
The VR mod's definitely, it's not the full game. It's just the beginning part. The plan is to eventually do the whole thing. Luke Ross, who has done Grand Theft Auto 5 and Cyberpunk 2077, says he's working on this. Yeah, it's a difficult game to put into VR, even more difficult than Cyberpunk 2077 and Grand Theft Auto, because those games are like, the VR kind of lends themselves to it, right? Yeah. Like you really can see a VR mode in this, where Elden Ring is there's platforming involved, there's dodging involved,
rolling, man, yeah. If you were locked into Bloodhound Step, like if you only had access to Bloodhound Step or something like that, if that's the way you dodged, it could maybe work. I would like Elden Ring VR mod just to be able to walk through Elden Ring in VR. That would be cool. Like if there was a thing where nobody attacks me, I can just go for a little hike in Elden Ring. I would like that, actually. I would very much like that. But yeah, the idea of like swinging and flailing my arms around in front of an Elden Ring boss, it just sounds like torture, man. It sounds like a workout, and it sounds like I'm just not going to be happy.
I don't mind that part so much. I'm just more concerned about two things: the platforming, because remember the game has a lot of platforming. It's not like hardcore platforming, but the whole platforming is more of a discovery, right? How do you discover different areas? One, you're on the horse. How are they going to implement the horse? And then how are you going to get around to places? And then and then the dodging. Like with the shield, okay, that's cool. That's natural, right?
Is the sword is like natural. The thing is like is it even there? Like, are they gonna do the whole game? Because if they were just doing the beginning part or just that first boss, that could just be cool. A cool mod on its own. Hey, check it out, Elden Ring VR. You're only fighting this one boss. It kind of works, but it would be impossible. I feel like it has to be impossible for him to try to do the whole game.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. All right. More Elden Ring stuff. Data Miner.
Yeah, I saw this.
Gets the inaccessible Coliseum era actually working, but they're still not sure if it's DLC. A lot of stuff is like...
I think it's going to be DLC, 100%. I think it's going to be a thing. And this would be the best way to do it, because you could, if they wanted to, add new areas to Elden Ring because of the way the map works in terms of verticality.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There's the underground. There's the above ground. Areas,
and they could add so much. They could add more layers to the game if they wanted to. But I think more realistically, what they'll do is they'll add more bosses, and you can fight them in this arena, like DLC bosses or stuff like that. Or maybe even like a ranked ladder system kind of thing where you can like have PvP battles there. Yeah, those are my speculations.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of, like, where are you on? Because I'm pretty much at the end. I finally beat Melania, which took me like a bazillion tries. I finally beat her, and I'm actually at the end boss, but I actually decided not to beat him. I think I'm probably can beat him easily because at the time that I played him first, I was close enough to beating him. Then later I went to go fight Melania, and I leveled up like a ton just to beat her.
So who's the guy that you think you're fighting? Who are you fighting that you think's the last boss?
Elden Beast.
Okay. So you did get to the second phase then.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is the last. That is the final.
Yeah,
ending.
but
there's but what ending are you going for? Because there's still a lot of setup and
Well, that's the thing is I've stopped trying to beat the game, and I'm going to try and complete as much as I can that I didn't.
The quest lines, like the Ranny quest line and all that stuff.
I think the Ranny one I already completed before. I completed the Millicent one. So I think my Patches is gone. I don't think I can complete that one. There's like certain ones I've already kind of thrown away, but there's also...
I killed Patches, so I'm guessing I can't do his quest.
No,
I don't know. No. I didn't even know he had a quest.
Yeah, he did. And then
I murdered that guy. I did not like him. I was like, hell no, I don't like this guy. Who is this guy?
Yeah. I mean, there's a white what's that guy? Vera, the White Mask or whatever. Yeah. There's a quest line for him.
I finished his quest line.
I finished his quest line too.
It took me to Mog. That was how I got to Mog way too early and got slaughtered. Like I ended up because that's like a late game area, and I was there way too soon.
Right now I'm fighting I forgot the name of the dragon, but it's the two-headed dragon at the
thing. Oh my god. Yeah.
Dude, he's hard.
That thing's a bit. He is
hard.
Tough, man. That thing is tough. I have not beaten that thing yet.
So I want to beat him before I go beat the end boss. I'm just trying to like clean up and do everything I can.
So many of those knights I still have to fight that I just haven't done. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, the Evergall Knights. Yeah, I've gone to some of them. I haven't done them all, but I only have a few left. Anyways, so I'm just kind of wrapping up my thing, and then I can go into New Game Plus and do an. I think right now I'm a Strength Dex build, so I think I'm gonna go Arcane Faith, either Arcane Faith or Faith Intelligence for my next build.
Yeah, you could do like a Faith Strength build as well, kind of thing.
Yeah, but I already played all the Strength weapons.
Oh, you done all the Strength, yeah. Then 100%, man. Do like a Faith Intelligence kind of thing. Like have some fun. Well, one thing's for certain: try Faith out or Arcane because they have a lot of cool shit.
Yeah, I got a lot of cool shit. A lot of cool weapons. So where are you right now on Elden Ring?
Dude, I don't know. I thought I fought what was it? Godfrey. I thought I fought him, but I didn't. I fought like a ghost of him or something like that, a shadow of him. Yeah.
Yes, he comes back later.
Yeah, so I think I'm on my way to fight him now, possibly.
Oh, the like, real Godfrey.
Yeah, and like there's
so then you're close to
done though. That's like right before the end. Yeah.
Yeah.
As far as I know, I'm like because after you beat him, don't you like basically get access right away to the boss room, endgame boss room?
Yeah,
I think. Yeah, it's literally like right there. It's like there's nothing else. It's like a hallway and then boom, the next boss.
But have you gone to a Haligtree to fight Melania yet?
I think I beat Melania and I'm really upset about it. Because it was because of the glitch in the previous patch. So
she was
her second phase didn't activate.
You fought a nerfed version.
Like super nerfed. It's I had bleed on, and I tried to do it without bleed, but I forgot that my one katana had bleed, and then I got her on. And it's the bleed proc ended up glitching out the second phase.
Yeah, the second phase was the pain in the ass.
Yeah, which I have fought before, so I don't know. I will say as well though, like it's one of those things where like I don't want to. I think I might rush this version of the game. Like there's still so much I haven't done, but I think I'm gonna like cheese the boss just so I can go into New Game Plus mode
and then start all over again.
Because there's a couple things I screwed up, like Patches. I killed Patches. I can't do his quest line, and there's a couple things like like I didn't feel good about the way I beat Melania. Also, Millennia or whatever, and then it's also Radahn. Apparently, I fought him when he was nerfed.
I fought him when he was nerfed too. So
there's a couple of people I want to go back and fight. You know what I mean, and have like a proper fight with. And actually, I don't even think I will do New Game Plus because it doesn't feel right. I'd rather just start a new build. And the whole intelligence build was fun, but like at a certain point, you get so over it. Like sometimes it's a challenge, you know what I mean. But then there are certain bosses you play with where it's just like as a long range mage, you just wreck. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because you can just stay away from harm. Dude, melee, you gotta go in there, man.
Exactly.
You gotta go in there and you get your shit
so
wrecked.
I want to try more of that stuff out because I really enjoyed playing Samurai. I kind of wish I played the Samurai more, like towards that kind of build style, you know, with the dexterity bleed stuff seems fun. But then at the same time, there's so much cool arcane stuff with like the dragon stuff that you can do, and I do like that.
Yeah, so almost done, and then we can do our review finally after we both beat the game.
Actually, may as well, yeah.
I'll finish it up this week.
I don't know what ending I'm gonna get, but I'll probably be done hopefully like by the end of the week as well. I've got a lot more free time nowadays.
Cool. I have one last thing, and then we can get into what you have.
Yeah, I got a couple small things here.
Yeah, this one's small. It's basically Meta / Facebook / Oculus. They're opening their first retail store in Burlingame, California, in early May.
It's a smart idea. However, I don't know if it will do well. You know what I mean? Like, it is a smart idea because essentially the idea is, hey, here's a shop where you can buy the Quest, but you can try it out first. Because a lot of people like that is their issue. It's like, hey, it is an affordable headset. You know what I mean? Compared to other headsets, it has a nice price point on it. But for a lot of people, that's still a bit pricey, and they're too scared to take that jump on VR. Like the reason I got a Quest, the whole reason I got a Quest was because I had used one before, and I was like, it's so worth the money.
That's the whole. That's the whole thing with VR.
If I'd never used it before, I would have been way more skeptical on the purchase, you know. But because I'd used it, and I was like, oh, it's great, definitely try it out, you know. So this makes sense. It's a place where you can cut. But they've also like had it before, where like game spots, like certain game spots would have it be already set up where you can come and try it out. You know what I mean? So this is smart. I just don't see them like maybe they'll have one in each like big major city. You know what I mean? Like one in LA. One in New York,
I don't know why Burlingame.
One in London. you know.
Yeah, I don't know why Burlingame was what they chose. Maybe I guess as a test place. But
Yeah, who knows?
I actually think this is a good idea because I know what VR is, and I know it's very hard to sell people on the idea of VR until they actually have tried it. That's what's key. That's probably the biggest blocker of VR becoming big is people look at, like, if you look at a trailer in VR, or not in VR, but a trailer for VR, it looks, one, the graphics aren't as good as a console or PC game, right? And then you're not getting the whole effect of why it's a VR game. So it's a technology that's hard to sell until people play it. Once people play it, that's when people get sold on it. And so having a store that's available so that people can come in and play it and use it and understand what it's about. The whole point is, and I think Microsoft made a mistake because they closed their stores. I think they have like maybe one store still left in the whole country, or maybe two stores. Anyways, the whole point.
Microsoft stores.
The whole point of these stores, Microsoft included, is you need people to get familiar with your product. It's not to buy. The store themselves are not supposed to be profitable. I know Apple's are, right? Because Apple, they sell a lot and people buy a lot of Apple products. But in terms of for Meta or Microsoft, your whole thing is trying to get the hardware in people's hands so they can touch it, feel it, play around with it. It doesn't matter if they go home and buy it online or buy it through whatever store. The whole point is your store is a marketing tool. It's not that it's not supposed to be like it's not supposed to be Best Buy.
It's one of those things where in the long run they're going to have to see how it affects it. Like, they might not necessarily make a good amount of sales from the store itself.
Yeah.
But the positivity, like I said, people being able to experience at the store, well, even if they don't buy it in person, they'll be way more susceptible to buying it online later.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So it's one of those things where, like, they're going to have to, like, Facebook's going to have to look at that. Sorry, Meta's going to have to look at that data and be like, hey, they have to look at, like, the other gains they're getting. Like, not the profit gains, but the exposure gain. They have to start to see how that kind of works. So I get that. So it's a smart idea. And then also, we'll jump onto the next thing here. I guess,
I'm done with all my stuff.
Well, they announced that new VR headset, remember?
Oh, Cambria, the Project Cambria.
Yeah.
But they're saying
got nothing to do with gaming or whatever. It's just for office work. Which makes sense to me.
You can play all the games on there. It's just not meant for it. And I'm sure pricing is not. It's not going to be consumer
it's
friendly.
It's going to be pricey as well. Yeah.
It's not consumer friendly.
It's literally for, like, people who. It's niche, but not too niche. Because here's the thing: like, I've tried it before. I've tried. There is the thing where you can, like, scan it. You can get your keyboard and your, like, mouse and stuff connected to your VR headset, and you can set up like a workspace where you can have your desk and everything. And I've tried it, and it's really, really cool. But the issue is that it's not comfortable. You know what I mean? It hurts your eyes, so it can't be for too long. So I'm sure that they're figuring out ways to make it more comfortable in terms of, like, motion sensitivity, also, like, the actual light in your eyes. I'm sure they've got to, like, work on certain filters to make it less, like, hurtful and stuff like that. So I like the idea of it coming forward to be more of a comfortability issue, and I think it's smart. But yeah, it's a very niche market for the people who are going to be interested in using it, you know. And I'm sure there's a lot of people who would do really well with it, but they just might not be interested in VR or know anything about it, you know.
Yeah, it makes sense. All right, what else you got?
Okay, so Dragon Age 4, the quality assurance workers are applying for to form a union, the quality assurance workers. So that obviously doesn't. For me, immediately I think of delays. That's the first thing I think of is could this cause a delay for Dragon? Not that we have, like, a date that it's coming out or anything like that, but it just seems like it's worth mentioning, and we can see, there's a vote to unionize will be held within the next 2 weeks. The group is very confident. Yeah. Anyways, it's just worth mentioning because we'll see how that progresses. They're going to unionize. I don't know if that's going to affect the progress of the game or not. One of the other bigger news that came out, not that anybody's talking about it, but some people are, which is this Disney Dreamlight Valley. It's a free-to-play Disney life adventure sim, and it's coming out on literally everything except for mobile. Like literally everything. It's on every launcher, every store. It's going to be free to play. You're going to be able to get it everywhere. It's 2023. That's when it's slated for, and it's essentially like Animal Crossing, very similar to Animal Crossing, but not the animation style. And it's Disney worlds. It's like all the Disney characters, all the Disney worlds and stuff. And it's a life simulator. For people who haven't played Animal Crossing or know what that is, it's a cute game where you don't really do anything, but you still do stuff. You know, where it's like you go fishing, go decorate your house, maybe a bit of gardening, go talk to some people. You know what I mean? Like there's no real goals, but that's the coziness of it, I suppose. I think it looks kind of cute. I'm gonna, if it's free to play, I'm gonna try it out. Apparently, there's a founders pack. What's this? Hold on. An early access release is planned for this summer and will be available to those who purchase the founders pack or any Xbox Game Pass members. So we will have early access to it. That's really nice to know just because we're on Game Pass. That's cool. Yeah, so I just thought that would be worth mentioning. Also, right now, Overwatch 2, the beta has come out. I have signed up for the beta. I have not gotten a key yet. Maybe I'll get one through a Twitch drop. But yeah, Overwatch has hit its peak numbers on Twitch currently because of the Overwatch 2.
Oh, the beta?
And people are... Because Overwatch and Overwatch 2 is the same game. I forgot that when they announced Overwatch 2, they were like, hey, it works with Overwatch 1. Like, it's still the same game. Like, Overwatch 2, like, as far as I know, the thing that you're going to be paying for is going to be its own... Like, there might be a campaign, and it's going to have its own hero modes, and... Like they could have scrapped all this, but when they announced it, there was the plans of having a skill tree and stuff like that, which is cool for like a story mode. But multiplayer, there's no time for you're shooting. You know what I mean? You didn't have time for a skill tree or other abilities or things like that. So the multiplayer will still work, if that makes sense. Like through I believe Overwatch 1 and Overwatch 2. So that's why the category. It's not like this new Overwatch 2 category on Twitch. It's still Overwatch. You know. If that makes sense. So it's boosted that. And it's well received. Everyone's liking it. I don't know what the hell's going on when I watch the game, because it's one of those games where like it's just so much going on, and it's like a fast pace. You're running and shooting and jumping and shooting and flying and shooting, and there's like so much movement going on, so much on screen. Which why I struggled to get into the first Overwatch. But yeah, it's getting well received. That's all I can say. It seems like it's going to be big, and for anybody who was a fan of Overwatch, they look like they're really happy with this. Another small story is Diablo Immortal, which was the mobile game that I was kind of looking forward to because people have had good reviews on it. Apparently, it's also coming to PC this June.
Even though they had said previously they weren't.
Exactly, and that was like the big like bummer about it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try it out. I applied for the
beta.
The beta. I applied for it. Yeah. So it's a PC port because it is essentially built for mobile. So it's a PC port. So I'm going to try it on PC, though I can already tell I'm going to enjoy the game more on mobile because that's the way it's intended to be played, you know? Anyways, I'm still looking forward to that, but it's interesting. It's coming to PC and you can apply for the beta now. Okay, we spoke about Disney. We spoke about that. This is the last bit of like big news I have, which is Twitch. They haven't confirmed that they're doing any of these things, but Twitch is reportedly they're looking at ways to up their profits because they're not exactly happy with their profits, and it's not the most profitable thing. Which Twitch hasn't been profitable for a very long time, as far as I'm aware. But currently, what happens is that if you are a Twitch partner, you get a 70-30% split, which is you get 70% of your. You get 70% of your subscriptions, but currently
which is kind of the standard across the board for a lot of stuff.
I don't know what it is when you're an affiliate. I just know it's not 70-30. I think when you're an affiliate, it could be 50-50. I could be wrong about that.
But like Steam is 70-30. I know it's not streaming, but that's 70-30. Oculus Store stuff is 70-30. It's very standard.
Yeah. So the tiers on Twitch is like, you're a streamer, which you can set up like a donation thing technically through like a third-party system or whatever. But eventually you have to have a certain amount of hours, a certain amount of average viewership, and then you become an affiliate. When you become an affiliate, I believe that's when people can start making donations through Twitch itself, sending you bits, stuff like that. You can have subscription. You can have people subscribe to you, use their Amazon Prime their Twitch Prime, which you get free if you have Amazon Prime. Those kinds of things. You make money from that. And then eventually, ideally, you want to become a Twitch partner. And the whole point of being a partner was to get that 70-30 split. That was the main purpose of going for that partner. The only reason somebody wouldn't choose to be a partner is so that they could still be on all platforms. They can stream on YouTube, and they can stream on Twitch, and they can stream on Facebook if they wanted to. Because I believe once you're a Twitch partner, you can only stream on Twitch, as far as I'm aware. So they're saying to look at boosting their profits, they want to have it a 50-50. So they want to cut people's profits from 70% to 50%.
Jeez.
And they're talking like once again, none of this is like set in stone. This is just what they're in talks to do and wanting to do. So they want to go from 70% to 50%. And they're just going to do it to certain people, like unless you're like locked in on a contract already, which they're not doing that as well anymore. Like Twitch has said that they're no longer going to do any exclusive contracts ever as well. Like in the future, they're not going to be handing out those exclusive contracts. YouTube can still do that if they want to, I suppose. But yeah, so in order to combat that whole thing of like making it more worth it for them, because it's like you're losing 20% of your revenue if you're a streamer, you know what I mean? But then they're saying, hey, you can now be on YouTube as well. You're no longer exclusive to us. So you're a lot more free to make more ad revenue elsewhere, which is kind of fair. And they're also looking at possibly putting in more tiers, like having more, rather than just having an affiliate and a partner, they're looking at adding like in between tiers, which would make sense to me. Because like I said, a lot of people are complaining that the middleman is going to get hurt by this plan. Like if you're,
it's always the middleman. It's always the middle level.
If you're in actual fact, I could see this helping some streamers who might want to be in a lower tax bracket. The people who are making a lot of money, it might just help them out, put them in a slightly lower tax bracket. Who knows? But yeah, big streamers aren't going to be that affected by it because they're already you got brands, you know what I mean? If you're a big time streamer, you make a lot of money from Twitch, but you also make a lot of money from your own brands and brand deals and sponsorships and stuff like that. But for the middle guy, it kind of hurts them, I will say that. It makes it a lot more difficult. They've also done more incentives to get more ads running, where I think they're offering $100 if you run a 2-minute ad every hour, which is a great deal. I would 100% do that if I was like a medium-sized streamer with a good following. I'd rake that in. I will say, however, like this makes me think of most people are speculating people are just going to jump ship and go to YouTube to start streaming there. Because with I believe YouTube only has one tier. You start on YouTube. Whether you're a streamer or a content creator, you eventually, once you have enough subscribers and you have enough like watch time or whatever, or views, you can then apply for their YouTube ad, like the ad program, the ad revenue program, or whatever that is. Like that thing is across the board for anything, for streaming, for anything. And once you get that, it is an immediate 70-30% split. You know what I mean? So you're with YouTube already, you're not grinding to get to that like 70-30%. I mean, the thing is on Twitch, it's easier to become a Twitch affiliate than it is to get that number on YouTube. It's more difficult to grind to that point on YouTube, but it's more rewarding because if you've done so, like I said, immediately 70-30% split. And it's easier to get that than it is to get to a Twitch partner. Like it's easier to get a 70-30% split on YouTube than it is on Twitch by far. And now they're thinking of taking away the 70-30 completely from Twitch. And a lot of people are going to jump ship. They're going to slowly migrate over to YouTube. And it's unfortunate because YouTube has dropped a lot of money on their live streaming system. But besides doing like big deals, like they're doing big exclusive contracts, and they're buying people out from Twitch, which is smart to get people to move over to YouTube. But what they're doing is they're not improving the actual service of the live streaming service and the way it integrates with the app. Like sometimes I'll see a live stream show up in my recommended feed if it's a game I like and it's somebody I'm subscribed to, and I like that. But they need to find a better way to navigate YouTube Live in general moving forward. So yeah, I think that this will be good for YouTube more than anything else. If they go through with it, it's going to be good for YouTube if they go through with it. And then I think with the influx of streamers on YouTube, maybe YouTube will make some changes to their platform itself. If they were smart, I know you don't want to separate the people, but if they were smart, they would. They should actually just make a whole separate app just for it. You know what I mean? Because one of the things that Twitch has that YouTube doesn't have is community. Twitch has got a huge community.
Yeah.
And Twitch has certain things in place that makes it easier for you to build a community, like the rating system, right? If you're a streamer right now and you have a couple other friends who are streamers and you all have like an average viewership of like 100, you know what I mean? Right now you're streaming, 100 people are watching you. You're going to end that stream, but instead of ending the stream, you go and you raid one of your friends who's busy streaming with like 50 viewers. Now all of a sudden he's got 150 people watching him, and you can end your stream there and go. And it's a great way of like moving people around, where it's like, hey, I'm gonna end my stream here, but here go watch my buddy's thing. And instead of like being like, hey, go watch it, you automatically like link your entire feed to them, which is the whole thing, the way that rating works on Twitch. And I hope that they can add things similar to that on YouTube to help grow the community within YouTube live streaming itself, because it's difficult for people to interact with each other on YouTube other than the comment section, you know what I mean? Like with Twitch, you can message, as a streamer, you can message other streamers and like inbox them directly and things like, you know what I mean? There's a lot more interaction between streamers, whereas right now on YouTube it's a very isolated thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the last bit of news I have though.
Cool.
Oh, that and the fact that the new Valorant season is out and I've been playing it and I love it. And there's a new Valorant agent out and she's scary and I love it.
Is that what you've been mostly playing lately?
I've binging it. Yeah, I've had more time to play Elden Ring and I have been having that itch.
Yeah.
But I've really been enjoying Valorant lately. I've been playing it daily, grinding competitive, trying to get better at it, which is difficult when you get older because your reaction timing is just not what it used to be, you know? It's still fun though. I'm really enjoying it, yeah.
Yeah, it's all Elden Ring for me for now, but I should be done with that. And when I do New Game Plus for Elden Ring, I won't be doing it. Right now, Elden Ring, I'm like 100%. That's all I'm doing. When I do start New Game Plus for Elden Ring, I'll be like, okay, I'll play it a little, and then I'll go play something else.
I think you'll enjoy some Faith builds, man. Like, they just look cool, you know? Like, there's some cool looking shit
Yeah,
there.
there's just some cool weapons that I own that I just can't use because I don't have... And I could respec, but I'm just like, why respec now? Why don't I just wait till I start a new game and do it, you know?
Yeah,
so.
Exactly. I will say, I do want to... there's so many amazing great swords in that game, and I don't use them because I'm a magician. I'm a mage.
I use a bunch of them.
Yeah. So
they have the guts.
I want to use them, man.
They have the gut sword.
And there's some there's just some cool stuff you can.
I use the Game of Thrones sword a lot.
Yeah.
The grafted sword.
Sick. Yeah, that one's sick. Yeah. I like the. I think there's an ability you get when you kill the wolf guy. I forget his name, but you know what I'm talking about.
Blade.
Yeah, Blade. Thank you. Yes, Blade. How could I forget his name?
I
believe. I think when you kill him, you get that Ashes of War where you do like a forward flip slash kind of thing. That thing is epic. I love that.
That's another thing I want to get more into as well. This Ashes of War, because I don't use them. Yeah. So that's it for this episode. Thanks for everyone who's listening or watching on YouTube. Make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/Revog. Also, you can find me on Twitter @ThinkHero and Instagram Dennis.tzng. Josh, where can people find you?
You guys can find me on Twitch @It'sThespis, all lowercase. There should hopefully be a link in the description below. And you guys can get me on the Revog Discord channel, where I'm more than happy to talk about games or even play some games if you guys ever want.
Yeah.
And, did we say Spotify? Make sure
no,
you
I
check
did
out
not.
Spotify.
Yeah, Spotify, Anchor.fm,
Spotify.
A podcast if you want to listen to us. And don't have the time to watch, because I know sometimes that's what I do. I have like certain podcasts that I listen to
and when or something.
Yeah, or sometimes I'll watch them when I can, and sometimes I'll on the go listen. So, all right, until next time. I like
listening to them in the car.
Yeah, or on a walk or something. All right, guys. Until next time. See you guys later.
Later.